Hello, just checking to see if this is actually recording and trying to see if I can get a good position. So here I am at Sita of the Shawl Knitter. I haven't been here for a while, and I do hope that it's bright enough out here. There are clouds and the sun does keep on coming out, and it's just so glorious to be out on the veranda. And as you may have noticed from my opening piece, I am currently weaving. This is something new for me, something I've been thinking of for quite a while, and I have finally taken the loom by the threads, or the heddle as it were, and I have started weaving. So I'm weaving on what is known as a knitter's loom, which is also known as a rigid heddle loom. Now that's a bit confusing, but apparently it's called a knitter's loom because you can fold it up and take it anywhere like you would your knitting. Hence I am here on the veranda, as I would be doing with my knitting. I am weaving. So this is a very, very exciting process, and I'm really getting into it. I'm really enjoying it. I bought a rigid heddle loom, and it came with an instruction booklet, which I thought I would not dive into until I had had a lesson or two. But of course I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait to sit around with my loom and not use it. So I looked at the instruction booklet. How strange and unusual thing to do. Well, definitely for me. I mean, I'm really bad when it comes to instruction booklets. I never read them. If I buy an appliance, I always try it out first, and then if it doesn't work, I think, well, I might as well look at the instruction booklet. So I got out the loom and I read the instruction booklet, and it looked very doable. And I waited for a very quiet day because I was staying with my daughter at the time, a day when there was nobody at home. And I set myself up in their very long passage, because one needs a couple of meters actually in order to warp the loom. So I set it all up on one table and a small cupboard. I had to move off the furniture around the house, and got that all done and bolted on my warping peg and tied it onto my loom, and off I went, warping away, walking up and down to the peg, back to the loom, to the peg, back to the loom. But you know, I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just following an instruction, and there's lots to know about tension, and so I was actually too tight, which I think is probably a problem that most crafters have when they start doing any kind of craft, be it crochet, knitting, and apparently weaving too. I was tensioning it too tight, and I was about 3/4 of the way through of this 2-meter long warp spread down the passageway, when the warping peg popped off the table, and there I had a pile of threads, quite a lot, laying on the floor. So I thought very fast, I am not going to waste this experience. I am definitely not going to get rid of all of this. So I just popped next door and saw if somebody was there, and my son-in-law's brother was home, and I said, please come and help me, I need you right now, urgently. So he came, and I managed to gather up the threads and got him to hold them tight at the other end. So I'd lost about 1 meter of my warp because it was all knotted up, but we managed to recover it, and he held it and I wound it on And there we go. I followed the next instruction and I tied it onto the loom, and off I went, starting to weave. Well, I did weave extremely tight. It was too tight. But I didn't know that. It just looked like really good fabric to me. Anyway, I didn't let anything put me off, and that night when my daughter came home, I was not yet finished, although I had moved away all the furniture that I had replaced around the house, and I commenced the next day to complete the piece that I had started, which actually turned out to be not too bad at all, actually. What I'm going to do is a little bit later, when I'm finished sitting here talking to you, I'm going to move inside, and I'm just going to show you, I've got all my woven pieces hanging up on a sort of little balcony, and I didn't bring them down. I just suddenly decided, why not do a bit of recording here? It's so beautiful outside, and I haven't done a video for ages. So I will show you all of that. Anyway, subsequently, I have done 2 workshops. I have loosened up my tension. I've made some fabulous scarves that I'm very, very happy with. And I'm on my way with my weaving. The only problem is that I now have a 4th fiber craft that I sort of want to do on a daily basis. So I have to plan my time. And this has come at just the right time. I'm just looking at these beautiful birds flying against the clouds. I'm so glad the wind has stopped. It was quite windy earlier on. So what have I done? I have woven about 5 or 6 pieces of textiles, scarves if you will. I bought a little tassel winder at a meeting I went to with a friend of mine, so I can twist my tassels in an instant, and I'm very proud of what I've done. But anyway, I continue to knit. So I'm also knitting at the moment. What am I knitting? I'll show you all these things. They're all inside the house, and we'll go and have a look at them. I am really loving Helen. I always forget her surname, from Curious Handmade. She has got a mystery knit along at the moment, 24 birds. And I think, yes, the final clue is out, so I can talk about it. It is a very beautiful circular lace throw, for want of a better word. I guess you could fold it in half and turn it into a shawl. I have knitted one of her other circular throws before, the anthology throw, which just happens to be draped over the couch. So we can go and have a look at that as well. I'm just going to move this this loom off my lap so that I can perhaps get a bit closer to this camera. Sorry, I hope it's not going to make you dizzy.